welcome back to Girls
Guys
and Gossip podcast hosted by yours truly, Aoife.
and Josh.
Today, we're joined by some special guests. We've got Molly and Meg. Very nearly pointed the wrong way there. So, I think we should talk Love Island, as we know that there is mixed opinions amongst the group about who favours who, and talk about what we feel about the finale, about like how they've acted since they've come out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think there's a reason why we're sat how we're sat. I think that's very
Definitely.
fitting for opinions. Should we start with the divide? Address the elephant in the room, like
Let's
get that
start
out
it.
the way.
there's definitely a massive divide.
This year's Love Island was so different to how
Literally,
it
like,
was.
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the girls just not get on. I
No,
don't really quite
100%.
understand
Yeah.
It was crazy this year. I've never ever seen so much drama between the girls.
I
It's
know.
usually like
It's not even them
amongst the
fight.
couples.
Yeah,
it's
it
not
was-
usually just the girls.
It wasn't even them fighting over men either. It's literally them
Just
Yeah.
fighting with
between-
each other.
like,
Yeah,
between each other.
Yeah. Well, I think that, like, for me, obviously, as you know, we're very much Shakira, Yaz, and Tony.
Very.
I think that personally the divide was up to one person, and that was from like the first or second day, Meg. But like,
Not me.
I think that for me, yeah, you do. But like, I think for me, I feel like when like people who back the divide, and I do feel like people naturally choose sides on TV. It happens all the time in every show that there's a
It
divide.
happens in real life too. Like
Yeah.
you sometimes like you gravitate towards more
Yeah.
yeah,
one
and I
group
do
than you
think
do
it is
the other.
genuinely just down to like
what you think.
who
It
you
is
are as a
normal.
person and just who you naturally
Mm.
gravitate
Yeah.
towards.
Yeah. I think that like for me, if I was to like have a group of friends, it would be like Shakira, Yaz, and Tony.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they take themselves as serious. I don't think that they're like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, yeah, they were bitchy and they would talk about people, but everyone talks about people.
But they would talk about people, but then they don't own it. If they like got caught out in it, they'd be like, "No, I did say that."
Yeah.
But Meg wouldn't. She'd be like, "I never said that." So I think that's where you can kind of see a different sort of like vibe. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? In like when you pick certain groups, you can kind of see. Like,
Yeah,
there. Do you know what I mean?
100%. I do think that Meg was the perpetrator all throughout. Like, if I'm honest, I think it was the second day. Do you remember when, was it, oh, what was her name now? She went on a date with Dijon.
Oh yeah. I
Oh,
know
what
who
was her
you're about.
name? It's going to book.
Melisha.
Like,
Yeah, that was
Melisha.
it, yeah.
And like, she grabbed her to one side and was like, "You're pulling my man.
Yeah,
You've
the
known him
second
2
day.
fucking days." Like,
Yeah.
and the way that on the second day, which got shown at one of the movie nights, she was caught slagging off like Tony, Yaz, all of this.
But she was
fixed
also
on them.
caught out on like when they had that conversation. That girl, what's her name again?
Melisha.
Yeah, then when she was on about that club in London,
Yeah.
like she was like, "You're always there. Go back to it's Tate. Go back to Tate."
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was quite for someone who's just joined. Like you want to welcome them, not isolate them. And I
Yeah,
feel like her saying
100%.
that made her feel isolated.
Yeah, I agree.
I think though it was very much like similar within like Emily, the Welsh girl, and I think the way that Tony spoke to her was disgusting. Like, and she was shouting at her across the garden, and I feel like you can kind of tell Emily's like a really quiet girl, and she's like, "No, guys, like let's keep the peace." And I feel like she got dragged into something, and she very like she looked so uncomfortable, and she clearly. And I think the way that like I think everybody could see the way that Tony was like. I don't know. She was like intimidating her. And I felt so bad for her in that moment. I thought if that was me, I would literally sit there and cry. Like I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, definitely. And I think think Emily is just genuinely like from what we've seen, like she seems like a really just a nice girl, and I think she's been labelled like with her like checking in on people in the villa and this, that, and the other. Tony's took that as she's trying to be in everybody's business, but like in the UK, that's just what you do. You just check in on, especially when everyone's going to have been feeling the exact same emotions. You're all in a villa away from home. And like her saying, well, she's in everybody's business, this, that, and the other. But yet, you didn't actually see her in everybody's business. Like, clearly, maybe something's gone on behind the scenes we haven't seen. But from what we have seen, she wasn't doing that. It was her actually just checking in on people.
It was mentioned throughout the show that like something happened like on day 1 or 2 where Shakira and Tony felt in the dressing room they were all laughing at them and stuff.
Yeah,
That was said. So maybe that was what like kick-started it, and they made it progressively like obviously worse. Like they're to be fair, I think they're all to blame in some sort of sense or form, like of a comment or speaking behind their back. But I just think personally, I feel like Tony, Shakira, and Yas, they handled it better than Meg did and Helena. I know we're not speaking about her, but
Yeah.
I
See,
agree.
I feel like everything was the way it was produced was blown way out of proportion
Oh, yeah.
because I can name many times where Shakira and Tony have both stood there and said about the fact that they actually get on really well with Meg and the fact that she is a lovely person. Like even Andrade came out and said about the fact of when they had that massive blow up. It said about the fact. Sorry, it's raining. I'm not. Really hope you can't hear that. But
In a
bit awkward.
storm.
But she said about the fact of like she still did her lashes and she still checked it out. And I just thought like you can't label someone
You feel
like
like
that
she
as
got
a,
the
like a
villain
mean
edit,
girl because a
yeah.
mean girl is someone that does it repetitively.
Mm.
It's not one-off ones where it's like once or twice. It's repetitive. Like it's would you'd have seen it the whole way through. And I feel like every time there's been a thing where Meg's like they've said, oh, you've done this, you've done that. She's tried to sort it there and then rather than carrying it on. She like the whole thing with Andrade straight away. She went straight upstairs to just sort that out there and then. And then there was the comment when it was in movie night about, you know, when she was sat like on one side and it was like, and again, they were going at each other. And again, she just tried to sort it out like there and then. So I do feel like there is an element where it's been made to look like it's been blown out of proportion. And I feel like that makes it really hard to make opinions on someone when you only see
like
1 hour of a
yeah,
24-hour day
Mm.
because you don't know what goes on behind closed
I
doors.
think on that movie night, I feel like Shakira, Tony, and Yaz got made out to be the villains.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Then it wasn't like it wasn't. I feel like there was
100%.
more clips like on Meg and Helen that could have been used.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but again, that's
100%.
what I mean when it comes back to how they've produced it, in that
yeah.
they've showed certain things because they're gonna realistically they're gonna go off the public's opinion at that time, so
And
they're
I feel
gonna
like it
show
was very
things that are gonna
mixed,
make
though.
look people.
It's not like one
Mm.
team's more like picked than the other. Like I feel like it's very
Yeah.
split down. Like look at us, just two. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing
Most of it.
is, I get what you're saying, but also like if you're going on a show like that, you've got to expect people to have an opinion on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're going on that show knowing that they're showing an hour a day out of 24 hours,
Mm.
and what you say will come back to bite you on the arse. And I think for me, I very quickly formed an opinion on Meg, and that weren't changing. And I think it genuinely was from the first day. I think
Yeah.
that she tried to stamp her authority as the main girl in there who's got the main guy to go all the way through to the final and win. That backfired. And like she's just like on the outside world, she's not the kind of person I'd want to associate myself with ever.
and that's fair enough. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think obviously I've been keeping up to date with like what they've been doing since they've come out, and I do have to say that Meg has not once brought up anything about the girls in the villa, yet Shakira, Tony, and Yasmin have repeatedly said in articles and in like interviews, all they keep doing is bringing up this whole feud and all these comments that keep coming out. But it just, I feel like there's an element of it with it that like you get to a point where you just leave it. Do you know what I mean? But they're just continually carrying it
but
on.
is that because Meg hasn't got anything and them three
I
are
just don't think
actually
she's
getting
bothered.
deals? Like, I think it's more down to the fact that she's not getting anything. Like, those three are doing articles, they're doing shoots. I haven't seen Meg in anything. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
quite
Yeah, but
Tony
there is
in
an element of
anything.
that because they've come first, second, third.
I
They
feel
are
like-
going to be
yeah,
added
I feel
into
like quite a few
articles and brand
celebrities have
deals.
slided with Tony, Yaz, and
Yeah, like,
Shakira.
hasn't Maya, like, the only three people from the show is those three girls?
Mhm.
And she's seen them. Like, she's had more of an opinion because she's met all of them.
They're bringing out a reunion as well, so
Yeah.
that'll be interesting to see like what
Yeah,
sort of been
definitely.
said.
because I think that'll also come down to like anything that's happened on the outside, backlash from that will come up in that like reunion, see what's
Yeah.
happened and whatnot.
But I feel like Meg like flies under the radar a bit. Like she's kind of come out and been like not too much in the public eye, and whether that's because she went in there and she found what she was looking for, and she's like, I'm done with it now. I'm not in the drama, or I don't know.
She's
but
very much in her like love bubble at the
I
minute.
think-
Like
I think
she's
so,
not-
was
yeah.
blinded by him a little bit though. She
Yeah.
wasn't-
Yeah, like
she-
I don't particularly.
I
I
don't
wouldn't
I feel like
choose
she
to
was
use
sold
Dejan.
Yeah.
down the river,
But I do
straight
think-
away, and I feel like that's why she backlashed onto girls because.
But I
of what
do
he
think,
was saying.
yeah, there was a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
element. I do think that being involved with him brought out the worst in her because I think a lot of those arguments wouldn't have happened if she was with somebody else.
Yeah, like more.
Yeah.
I think it was just because Dejan had such a wandering eye that she probably felt very insecure in that moment.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, I can sympathise because
We both
I've been
have,
there,
yeah.
and I can understand from her perspective how, like, I'd feel the exact same way. And like, you are going to lash out on the other people because, like we said last time, it's always the girls, it's never
Yeah.
the man.
Yeah.
And I think when you're in it, you don't see it. And I do think there's a big part of that where she's in her little bubble at the minute, and all she's doing is defending that, when maybe, you know what, she should probably take a step back and have a look at the bigger picture.
Even like watching the episodes back, which I haven't done obviously, but like even when you watch the episode, none of the men were made out to be like horrible people. It was always the girls. It was always focused on like this divide, or you should pick this side, you should pick this side. I was thinking more like, but why are the men like being shown to be like nasty people, but nothing being said?
100%.
Yeah.
No one was calling the men out.
Yeah.
No, they
And
were
I'm
laughing
sorry, they
about
made
it.
some very, very defining
Yeah.
choices in
Oh
there.
yeah, 100%.
Look at Harrison.
Look at Harry.
And I think we can
He
probably
made it to the
all agree on
final.
Harrison.
Yeah, that's one
Oh,
thing
no,
I think we
Like,
can
that's
all
one
agree
thing
on.
where I'm just like, that's a bit.
I feel like boys don't really call each other out though. Like with girls,
No.
it's very much like we would say to each other, like,
What
you
you
shouldn't
see
have
is what
done
you
that.
get, yeah.
You shouldn't have done that. I don't agree with that. But I feel like with lads, it's very much like they kind of like cheer on lad behaviour. Or even if they do something they don't agree with, they're like, oh, it's none of my business, I'm not getting involved. And I don't agree with that, because at the end of the day, you've put yourself in the public eye, and you know, you look as it's like you're a bystander, but you're not going to do
I
anything
think
about
we can
it.
all agree as well that on the first episode, it was so obvious Dejan went in with a plan to like win the money.
Yeah.
So I feel like him like whispering in like Harrison's ear or Harry's ear
To
about
put them off being in their couples.
being off in a good couple. Because let's be real, Harry and Shakira were strong until like this Helena thing came about, like this undeniable
Hideaway
connection,
Helena.
literally. So I feel like him saying things to them, and they were like meant to be best friends. I feel like that kind of put them off. So I feel like him going in with a game plan, like he was messing around a bit, but then obviously he knew he was always going to go back to Meg. So I just think like Megan herself, she felt like she was in a secure position.
Because I actually feel like Meg went in with the full intent of finding love, and it's that she's
do you
ended
not
up with
think that?
Dejan.
No way.
Oh.
No, I don't.
Why?
I think I can agree with
I
that.
don't think that she did at all. I think that she coupled up with him because she wanted to win the show. I think she wanted that, like,
How do they know they're going to
Yeah,
love
they picked
story,
off a board.
but also like,
yeah, true.
They didn't see what they looked like.
yeah,
They
that's
picked off,
fine.
like, their like bio.
Yeah,
To be fair,
don't
we
get me
don't
wrong,
know
like
that.
that's fine, but like also I really do think that as soon as she obviously finds him attractive,
Yeah, that's fine.
but like I genuinely think that people, all of them go in there without the intent of finding love.
Oh,
And if
yeah.
you do, you're lying. Like we all know it, they know it, they
I
come
think
out and
since
say it.
Season 5, like from like Molly Mag, none of them.
Yeah,
have
they want
probably
Molly
gone in
Mag.
there
Yeah.
to get love. They've probably
Yeah.
gone in to like boost themselves. If they found love, then
Yeah, I
It's
just think
over.
that like she's a beautiful girl. She's obviously going to get attention. If she wants it, she could get it here. Like I really do think that, and this isn't me singling out Meg, but like I think all of them go in there with that intention. Like if you told every single person who's going on Love Island you're going to come out and get no brand deals, no brand deals, nothing, they wouldn't go on it. Like you
It's just
wouldn't
a
go on it.
publicity.
Yeah,
It's just going to boost. I mean,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
anything, it's like it's a sure ticket. If you go on Love Island, you're going to come out with like a Pretty Little Thing collection, and you're going to have a
Boohoo
million.
Boohoo Man.
You're going to
you
have like
know,
a million
the dream.
followers.
But like
and
some
Yeah.
people have come out and they had the complete opposite, where they've had to go back to like normal life. So it's not guaranteed. I think it's the way like you go in, as you said, like a game plan, knowing like I'm gonna be like this, so the public perceive me as this person that like wants to get all the Instagram followers and stuff. Fair enough, you're gonna do that, just own it.
Yeah.
You know what made me laugh though was obviously Harry going in there, but Harry's rich. Have you seen his house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is
I'm like, he
rich.
did not need to go on that
No.
show.
Yeah.
I
At
generally
his big
thought,
age.
I thought he actually went in. No, actually, no, I didn't.
I don't think any of them.
Not
I
really.
really don't think any of them did. If I'm honest.
I used to watch Harry, and I just used to sit there and think like, I don't get you. You're 30 years old, and
Yeah.
like, do you remember though when we watched it and Helena dared him to go home?
Yeah.
I had never.
That was funny. That was
I have
funny.
never pissed my. We were laughing for
The
about
thing
half
is,
an
though,
hour, and we just kept saying it to each other, and we would
I
just
actually
giggle.
felt sorry for Helena to an extent, but I don't agree with what she did. Like how she went about things, I don't agree with. Like you claiming you're a girl's girl, but you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like
Because like
girl
even
code.
that whole thing where she was literally slagging off Meg and that's supposed to be
Her
her friend,
best
and
mate.
I was
Yeah,
just
but
like,
to her man as well, though. Like, you're slagging her off
exactly.
to her man,
Yeah.
like, what? How does
I feel like
work?
that should have been a big alarm bells with
Mm.
both Dejan
I
and
just think,
Helena
like,
for me.
I felt sorry for her because, like, she knew deep down Harry didn't want her as a girlfriend. Like, you must have got a sort of vibe to think, oh, you know what, Harry wants
Yeah.
Shakira, but I'm just
Yeah.
staying because of the
And to
group
feel
dynamic.
like or to know that you're the other woman is horrible.
Mm.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is horrible because then there's
And
just
everyone's
like,
watching.
yeah,
Like, everyone at home is watching this. Like,
Mm.
because
on
I think a
hold.
lot of them have received so much hate,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
think it's terrible because you know what? Look at Caroline Flack
Yeah, we don't
and
agree
what
with
happened
that.
with that. So it's just, do you know who that
Mm.
is?
You
Yeah.
can see Caroline Flack
No,
is.
the way you face, you were like,
No,
I was
it's
just
because
like-
it was like a serious topic, and I was like, right, get serious now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But okay, moving away from like the divide because I feel like we're never going to see eye to eye.
Yeah,
Do
we're
you
never
know
gonna
what I
see
mean?
eye to eye.
It's-
one thing I
it's-
will
yeah.
say, one thing I will say
Okay.
is Josh doesn't follow Shakira on Instagram. even
I
though
don't
you love
follow
her.
any of
You love
them.
her so much.
I don't follow
I
either
love
of them.
Shakira, but I never follow any of the Love Islanders
No.
because anything they do doesn't interest me.
Oh,
You've got a pretty little
Yeah.
thing,
I'm
do you?
so nosy.
Like,
And me,
Who you
that's
following?
how I
Meg?
follow
I
most of
follow
them.
Megan.
Of course you. No, like I think like you've got a PRT deal. Well done, good for you. Not interesting
I
to
know, I
me.
just like to see it, like,
yeah,
to keep an eye, like,
I
if
like to know
couples
when
are
they
still
break up
together.
as well.
Yeah.
yeah. That
Oh,
always
I just
comes
see
out in
that
the
on
sun or
TikTok.
something,
I
though,
just see
don't
on
it? Like,
TikTok,
yeah. For me, like I don't follow any Love
No, I
Island. I
don't
never
either.
have. Like, it's
Don't
not
get me
something
wrong, I
that
still
appeals to
stalk
me.
them. Like, I still stalk, like, on TikTok, like Harry. They're all posting vlogs at the moment, so I'm all like
Yeah.
viewing that. But I
Also,
don't follow them.
Can we talk about you going out of your way to find out that information?
Just
Not you trying to cuss me
did my
out.
research.
So, like, what do we think then about women's aid and the whole Harrison thing? Because I know that me and you have briefly spoke about this.
Yeah.
And the way that men treated women this series, I think, is probably the worst of all
Oh,
series.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
they had like
Mentally
over
was
900
awful.
Ofcom
The
complaints.
Yeah,
Ofcom
it's-
complaints.
And
shit.
you know what? I'm really, really shocked that Love Island hasn't come out with a statement. I do think, like we said, I think we said it about Harrison's exit was definitely like
Planned.
they told him
Yeah,
not to
no,
go
a minute.
because they were getting so many bad ratings.
Mm.
But he should have been
But the
told
fact that-
prior.
But the
Yeah.
fact that Love Island like
Still didn't do
didn't
anything.
come out and they didn't intervene
No.
with the way he was acting, like they didn't once think of like how this was going to be perceived, or
Because I
even
feel
in
like
the
they
editing
low-key
they've
loved
really
it.
mugged him off because
I feel
they've
like they
showed
low-
him for everything that he is, but
But they
they've not
low-key-
thought how that's going
I
to
feel like they
backfire on
low
them.
key loved it though because it was giving them more attention.
The thing is,
Like, the
it is an
show.
entertainment show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got to keep things in to keep people entertained. But I feel like that
But then
was
all
just
of a
too
sudden when
far.
it's
Yeah.
backlashed on them, they're like,
Yeah.
right, let's get him out. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, well, you could have stopped this a lot sooner before all of those people, like Lauren, and like before all those people
Well,
got.
people still say Harrison doesn't like Lauren
No,
on
they don't.
TikTok. Like,
No,
look
I
at
think
them,
he's
You
still
don't.
with her because
just to prove a
to
point.
prove a
prove-
point,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
then he's left to be with her.
You know what did make me giggle?
I know what you're going to say.
They'll have like a strategic
They
breakup.
Harrison was doing like an appearance in a club, and this group of girls,
So
took a picture with him and literally got a picture of Tony.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've seen
I've
that.
seen
I've
that.
seen
Funny.
And
that.
it just
That
like
was so
to me that
funny.
just proves
Mhm.
like, and on like he did like a TikTok live and he said her name.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, no, I mean Lauren.
Mm.
Like you can't.
But did you
Mm.
see you know when they were going back in? I don't know if it was for the final or if it was where they all went in and had to make their decisions. But like the girls and the boys got split. They were
Yeah.
put in two different villas, and they were on live. And Harrison was on live with Lauren, and they like she was trying to talk to him about how one of the other girls has got the same dress, and he just wasn't listening.
Yeah, like
Mm.
And she was like, Harrison, like and then it was like everyone in the comments was like, he does not care about you, girl. Like open up your eyes.
But the thing is
Mm.
though, she's like enabling his behaviour by taking him back so early on. Like you have to have a point where you're like, you know what, no, this is
Yeah.
not worth it.
I'm
Like I
begging
love
him
you.
Like,
to
bit
go with you.
self-respect.
That's
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah,
like the way.
Yeah, the way she said like, "Oh, leave," like that was putting pressure on him.
Mm.
But I also feel like
That was planted
she was
on him.
told to say that, so then it gave him a smooth way to exit.
Exit.
Like he couldn't have just
Mm.
But he didn't
exited
deserve
for no
that. Though.
reason.
He didn't deserve a
No.
smooth exit.
They've tried
Yeah,
to
we should
protect
be
their
called out.
He
reputation.
should
Yeah.
be called out on that behaviour.
I
It's not
think though the
acceptable.
producers play on a lot of stuff because a lot of the other Ofcom complaints going back to that was about like bullying and the girl divide, but they apparently they used to tell the girls in the morning when they had their morning debriefs, right, so you go up on the terrace with so and that you will go on the
Yeah,
day
so
beds
the
and whatever.
producers fed the
They're
divide,
playing into
clearly.
it, so they're getting all these Ofcom complaints, but they're doing nothing
Yeah,
about
Yeah.
it.
Every
that was
morning, yeah.
I watched an interview, and I think it was just Shakira and Harry. I'm not sure if it was Loose Women.
I
It
think
was
it was like
something
this
like that.
morning or something.
And she was
obviously.
talking about how she's watched them back now, and she said that like shame on the producers. She said because she said for about she'd say like 14 hours of the day, all the girls would be together even in the dressing room or around by the fire pit, and then there would be like the off like half an hours here and there where they wouldn't be, or they would be told to go and sit somewhere separately, and then they've only showed that, and I feel like that's where this whole divide has come, like it's made it much bigger because every single girl in there has said it's been made a lot bigger than it actually is. And I do think, honestly, I think the producers need to take like for next year,
I think it's just going
because
out.
everyone's going to be waiting. They're going to be waiting on
But
it
we
next
already
year.
know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I
They're
think
going to
it-
go in. They're going to want to do this. They're going to say
It's the same thing every year, and I think the viewing numbers for this year have been the lowest
Yeah.
they've ever been. So it's
Well, they were the lowest up until episode 4, and then they went right up.
Oh,
But
did
that's because
they?
they did the movie night really early on. They did like the like pre
They
one.
did that like
They
They
sleep.
did a
over.
load.
Yeah,
They did a
that
load of
was-
things they never normally do, and I
Yeah.
think the whole thing with the girls' divide, Harrison, Harry, Deja, all of that made people want to watch
And
it because everyone was
And
talking
that
about it.
Ramel, remember, like Ramel,
Yeah.
the way he
Oh,
was
that was
like,
really bad.
like leading Poppy on. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring you back. Like, have a better connection with you." Then turned around and said, "No, I'm not
Yeah.
bringing you back."
Mm.
And then
Like
like,
literally switched up like that. But now they're posting TikToks together.
yeah,
like
saying
they're
like,
always
"We're not
together,
together."
and I'm like,
That's what they put in the comments. Like, they're not together.
Yeah.
And it's
I
like,
just think the men of this series are the worst they've ever been.
getting
Like
worse.
Harrison, Ramel, Ben.
oh
my
God,
God.
he's not got 2 brain cells between them.
Jesus
Honestly.
Christ.
Oh my god, have you seen them club photos of Ben and Tommy? And they just stood there so awkwardly like
Oh.
this. And they're
I
like
really
proper stood
liked
like
Tommy.
Chava, like
I
I
really
really
liked
liked
him
Tommy, yeah.
until he fucked Emily.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
The
But
my
that-
like funniest.
Oh, the voice note.
Lucy's
voice
Lucy.
How did that not get more attention on After Some Please? Like
Mm.
that for me would be the main event. Like you've just been called out. Like we all know you. All you want is him
Mm.
to get to the final because he was the favourite boy, and you fucked yourself.
I don't
over.
lie. I said it weren't me.
No, it wasn't me.
But she
It
didn't
was-
do
Well,
that.
well,
She
yeah.
literally owned
It's
it.
AI.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and
it's-
he
it's
weren't
ChatGPT.
concerned. He weren't
The thing
concerned
is,
at
she
all.
owned it a bit, but then she kind of like, I didn't mean it in that sense. But what other
Yeah,
sense
she
did
did
Yeah.
defend herself, but she was like, "Yeah, that is
Mm.
me talking. You came out your
Yeah.
mouth."
Yeah,
tonight,
How
and
can you
Yeah.
defend yourself about that though? Like,
Yeah.
Like it's literally there's proof, and
Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
seen it. Like it's a bit
Mm.
it's a bit late to take it back now.
yeah,
Yeah.
Right. I think that we should do our favourite scene of the whole series.
Oh.
Very like on the cuff, like off the top of your head.
Well,
I'll
I'm gonna have
do
to go
mine.
mine.
We know what yours is going
Yeah.
to
I've already said
No,
it.
that's
Yeah.
gonna have to be
That was
mine.
gonna be
That's
mine.
going straight to my head.
Okay. What my favourite one was when? Oh my god!
Oh, I've
it
got
was.
one actually.
It was when they just come back from Casa Amor, and Maya asked like Tony or
Oh my
something
God,
how
yeah.
she was. And then Ben said, "Yeah, I feel like Harrison's a lot happier. Like what Laura's done for him in 3 days, Tony couldn't do for 2 weeks." And Maya just turned, I was like, "Yeah, that was very unnecessary, Ben. I'm not gonna lie." Like the way she clapped back,
Yeah.
Maya was on smoke this whole series.
No,
That pissed me.
That
That
was
was so
so
funny.
funny.
And then Shakira was like, "There's not a brain cell up there, I swear to God." Like he really thought he
Their
ate with that
feud,
comment.
Shakira and Ben's
Ben's
feud
feud.
was
Oh,
so
it was
funny.
so funny.
When there was the recoupling, and he was like, "Well, I got to pick one of them."
Yeah.
that was so
That-
funny.
That would be my scene.
Yeah.
That would be my favourite
Mm.
scene. He was like, I'll have to pick one of you.
Yeah.
My mum,
Mm.
absolutely, she was in hysterics
Mm.
watching
See,
that.
my favourite one was when Shakira was like about Harrison and Harry, them little ants. You know, she
Yeah.
put little ants. That was my favourite. That was my favourite.
But you know what I loved about that is, as she said it, they like
Pinpointed
they
them,
put
yeah.
it like to what
Yeah.
they were doing in
They
that
were doing
time.
like
Or
cartwheels.
like and Harrison would just do
Yes.
cartwheels over the grass. I was like, what is going
I
on?
just actually think the fact how many times girls cried on that series
Mm.
this season.
That's got to be like
Mm.
they should have done a counter.
Someone
like,
cried
counting
every
how many
That
episode.
should
times.
have
Yeah.
been a movie night clip. Like how many times the boys made the girls cry?
Mm.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there should have been an award.
And
for
Cash crying.
Oh,
Oh,
let's actually speak
Cash.
about him real quick.
I
He's
loved
so
Cash.
cute.
I think the most deserving person to win, and
Yeah.
Tony. But Tony's been fake since day one. But
I
like,
think it was very
I
much
think-
like if obviously like Tony and Cash won, I think mainly because of Cash.
Yeah.
And then if Shakira won, it would have been because of Shakira, not because
Yeah.
of Harry.
I kind
No.
of feel bad for Yaz though. Yaz and Jamie, like they're really underrated. Like they
Mm.
actually did form a connection. I just feel like it wasn't shown as much. due
But
to
I
the
also
fact-
feel like you know
Yeah.
that the knowing me, knowing you challenge. Like she didn't get any questions about Cash, right? Yet Jamie. But yet Jamie got every single question about
Can we
Yasmin, and I
just
don't
talk
know if
about
it's like
that,
maybe they're
actually?
just she
I
just
it
think
was
it
doesn't
could
know.
be like
I wonder
her
if maybe,
autism.
yeah, that's what I was
I
going to
think
say.
it was really edited because there was a clip on Twitter. I don't know if anyone saw
I
it.
don't know.
It was like there's a question like who you would couple up with, and she wrote Dejan,
Yeah.
but then like
No, she wrote Cash.
Yeah,
oh
and
yeah,
then
that
she
was
changed
it.
it to
And she
Duchamp.
changed it to Duchamp, but that was the question like who would you get rid
Yeah.
of? Like why did they edit that out?
Yeah.
Because
Just to create
she
drama.
ripped Cash and then wiped it out, and then when Jamie asked her, she said Dejan, and I'd say it's because she's been told to say that.
Yeah.
I think
Really.
honestly, I think the way it's gone this season, like it's enough to put me off watching it because it's just it is so fake because you can tell the producers are just telling them to do this, that, and the other. Everyone just argues, and I know that they're doing it for screen time, but
I think it's sad. Like you can tell how like upset some people get, and like they're actually forming a connection with someone, and then
yeah,
they get their feelings
yeah, they're
hurt.
actual people
The
with
actual
feelings.
And the
people.
producers are like, oh, let's just like.
shit
I know
it
it.
up.
I know it's a program, and I know that's the way it works. But it is like if you deep it, if that was you, and you're like proper going through your feels, and everybody's watching it at home, like it's so publicised. Like you can't
can't
shy away
hide
from it.
no.
And
You
it's
can't
like
be
the
like, oh, I
memes.
wasn't actually that bothered anyway
It's like the
because it's
memes
literally all
after it
there.
as well. Like
Yeah.
like memes. Why are you laughing at
No,
that?
because they are funny. Some of them are funny. Like,
And then some of them are like a bit too far.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so I thought a good moving on from Love Island because it's abroad and there's loads of drama. I would talk about my drama abroad. So you guys know that I love a holiday, and as soon as you asked me to come on your podcast, I was just like, right, I need to speak about this. So you know, I only just got back from Magaluf on Monday, and Magaluf is like it's like stepping into another world. So this one story, it's not got anything to do with me or the girl that I went with, but I have to tell it. So we've gone out on our last night, so on Sunday night, and we've gone out for some food, a few drinks, and we got back about 2 o'clock in the morning. And we were on the ground floor, so we sat on our patio, and we were just drinking like cans of cider, and we were like, right, we're finished now, we'll go to bed. It was about 2:30. So we'd gone in, we were getting ready for bed, whatever, and all of a sudden we just heard all this thumping. So we went outside, and there's these lads on the balcony above, like right directly above us. So they were thumping about in the room and on the balcony, and they were shouting across the road at these girls that were walking past, and they were just saying stuff like, "Oh, like come here, sexy, like come up here, you're gonna come give me a visit," and all of this. And these girls were like, "Yeah, we'll be up in 10 minutes." So it turns out these girls that they were shouting at in the street were staying in the room next to theirs. So these girls have come up. So me and Meg are like listening, like, oh my god, what's going on? Like, are they gonna do something? And they went up and they started talking to these lads. And so the lads were like, oh, like, you fancy a shag, whatever, like all that kind of stuff. And the girls, these Irish girls, were like, oh, how old are you? And these lads were like, oh, we just turned 18. And the lady went, oh, well, I'm 36.
Oh my god.
And the lads were like, age is just a number, like, I don't care. She turned around, she went, oh, you're only 3 years older than my son. She had a 15-year-old son, right? And me and Meg just kept looking at each other, and I've got all the audio recordings on my phone.
Oh my god.
So Meg was stood on her tippy toes like this, recording what they were saying, and next thing you know, she was like, "Oh, are you gonna come in my room then?" And they must have done something.
Oh my god.
God.
And like me and like this was going on for about 2 hours, and like all the lads were like on the balcony talking about it, and they were talking to her friends, and they were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe like she's actually gonna shag him and all this."
Did she have a husband? Was she? Like...
Well, she was talking about her kids and her family, so God knows. But
no.
You've gone to
and he turned around, right? This made me feel so old. He turned around and he went.
What did we look at Josh?
He turned around and he went, I was born in 2007.
That's disgusting.
Oh my god.
I was like, what the
Wait, so how old does that make the boy?
18.
He was freshly 18. Like
That's the worst bit, though. Like 18's bad enough, but it's the fact that he was like freshly 18.
Yeah, what
like
fresh?
that feels even worse.
She must have had some. Why are you going? Oh, tea.
But bearing in mind, this whole thing was going on for about 2 hours. Honestly, I couldn't tell you everything they were saying. I was half cut anyway. But from like
That is.
Did you hear anything?
no, thank
Thank God, imagine.
You could hear them saying, "Oh, I can't believe they've gone for a shag." And I would never do. I would never. If I was
No,
No,
36,
me neither.
I wouldn't even be on holiday at 36 without my like family. Unless it's like a hen do. Was it a hen do?
I don't know. It's just a massive group of girls, and then there was a massive group of lads. It was clearly their first lads' holiday, and it was their first night. They were like, "We only got here 2 hours ago."
Oh,
That's
my
crazy.
Surprised you mean to go on first.
Yeah.
Fair
Most
play.
days-
First
so
night
boring.
they've got there, getting busy.
Literally, booked and busy.
Imagine if she got pregnant. I need to
Oh,
know.
imagine.
Like,
She'd
I
have another
need.
child.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Thing
saying.
is,
I
though,
need to know.
we didn't even know what these people looked like. Like all we could hear was their voices.
Voices.
So around
where
the
are they
pool the
from?
next day, and I was like, "Oh my god, do you think it was them? Do you think it was
Where do
them?"
you think
Go
they were
guess
from?
it.
Well, the girls were Irish, and the lads were from. They were like Essex,
Of
like
course.
London way.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Makes sense.
Well, I don't really have any drama-filled holiday stories because I'm just the clumsy one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We don't know.
So mine was a few years ago when I went to Tenerife. So the first time, like not when we went, ours was relatively like drama free. Nothing really happened, did it? So like when I was like 19, I went on holiday to Tenerife with like 3 of my other friends, and nothing really happened. And then the last night, we had like check out at like 10 a.m. So we were like, we're gonna go out. Like we're gonna go out anyway.
Go hard.
You know what I mean? Like you're only at Tenerife 3 times, but like you know. So 2 of the girls didn't want to go, and me and my friend Keely, we went to Veronica's. Right, it gets to like 3 a.m. and I've got videos of this actually. And we stood outside finishing our drinks, outside jumping jacks, and then there's a girl behind us, and she was like absolutely wankered, like she was gone, right? So me and Keely, like we were like finish our drinks, head back to the like apartment because we still hadn't packed or anything at this point. As we go, this girl is like on the floor at this point, so she's like lay on her friend's shoulder, and she kept swaying. So like I sat the other side of her because I was like, she's gonna hit her head off the floor if she carries on. She like wafted her head down that much, her head was in my hands, right? Oh my god! And then this guy comes over and starts like touching up her face. These lads get involved, they start fighting. This girl was evidently like spiked, like you could tell that
Yeah.
she was spiked. We try and grab the police. You know what police abroad are like. They're not interested. So in the end, this girl like comes over and physically like pulls one of the police officers and like, look at this girl, she needs help. We call the ambulance, and then they like wouldn't let us in the ambulance because they were like, how do you know this girl? They're like a friend or a family. And I was like, no, I've literally just met this girl. And the girl who it was turns out to like not know her as well. So all of her friends had ditched her. But then I genuinely think that it was either her friends who spiked her, friends, or it was this like just this random guy who then like spiked her for no reason. She was gone. And the police officer like thanked us and were like, you've basically saved this girl's life, basically, because like she was in a really bad way. Like there was no way that she was going to make it back.
Yeah.
So then we were like, okay, end of the night, drama, that's fine. We then go, so where our hotel was, it was literally along the strip, up some stairs, down an alley, and that was where the hotel was. We walk along this alley, obviously debriefing about what we've just experienced. And at the end of the alleyway, there's this guy just stood on his phone. As we're walking towards him, he like looks at us and walks past us. We didn't think too much of it. I've like pulled like a side eye to Keely to try and see him. And he's just like literally done like a 180 and started like speed walking. So I said to Keely, because like instincts kick in, innit?
Yeah, like
So I
a
was,
good feeling.
yeah, so I was like, on the count of 3, like just run. Like just trust me, on the count of 3, run. I was like, 1, 2, 3. We start running. Starts fucking chasing after us, bearing in mind, right? But this is the problem. Our hotel, as we discovered, now shut down. I wonder why. Our hotel had no security, no lock. Our room was on the ground floor of this, overlooking the alleyway that he was just chasing us down. We've like ran through security, banged on the door because we didn't have the key. Our friends, because we only had 1 key, our friends were luckily awake, let us in. As we've gone into the room, he's literally stood opposite the balcony, down the alleyway, and just stared at us and literally went like that to us. So fuck knows what he wanted out of us. But you know what? He could have chased anyone and he chased us. So
Special.
I'm flattered.
you know what I mean?
You're like, delicious.
Yeah, like all we wanted was a nice night out, and we ended up saving a girl's life and getting chased down the alleyway by a strange man.
Wow.
That is
nice.
hero
Drama just
behaviour.
follows us where we go.
I feel like that's like us now, though.
Yeah,
On a night out.
we're not the problem, it's them.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, so my holiday story was actually when we went to Ibiza, and oh my god, literally, I don't even like them 3 days went so fast that I can't even remember everything. But I think it was the one where it was our last night.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was our last night. Oh my god, yeah, because we had alcohol poisoning the next day. We were literally like we had like night 'cause we went to Ocean Beach, so we were just like chilling in the room, and these two brilliant girls here were like, let's drink the vodka we bought from duty free. It's like that 40%, wasn't it?
We
On
had
side
so
note, we
much
bought
left.
3 bottles of it
Yeah.
Oh,
because it
yeah.
was cheaper to get. Like there was a deal on it, so we thought, we'll get 3.
So
But they were the blue Smirnoff, so they were
Yeah.
40. No, I
Strong.
think they were 50%.
yeah,
I
they
think they
were
are
50%.
Yeah.
So I was just sat in the room, like minding my own business, had enough from Ocean Beach. I was like, nah. No, was it Ocean Beach?
It was
It
Ocean because we
was.
were meant to go to Pasha and we just
Oh,
couldn't
yeah,
make
like,
it
we
out.
couldn't
Bear in
make
mind,
it.
I'd already had a nap at Ocean Beach as well
Yeah.
because I drank that much.
So they were like, oh, let's play a game. I was like, okay, we'll see where this goes. They got the vodka and they like, we had mixer, right? And they decided, let's just down the bottle
We had to get the vodka gone. We couldn't
Yeah,
take it
you've-
home
So
with
we
Yeah,
us.
were
it
just
needs
thinking with our
looks.
brains.
We
No,
just
they
didn't
kept
want to.
carrying it. I
We
was
didn't
like,
want to carry
okay,
it home.
fine, whatever. So we were playing the game. I thought, you know what, I'm not doing any shots because catching a flight tomorrow, whatever. And then they're like doing shots, da 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 da. Next thing is, Mole just disappears out the room. I'm like, where the fuck is this woman gone? And luckily, she only was next door, like in her like apartment. So I knew she was back.
But we didn't actually know she'd gone to the
No,
room.
she just said
No.
bye.
You know what? This is my thing. When I've had a drink, I just run away. Like I just go missing, and
Yeah.
everyone worries about. Even if I go to the toilet, everyone's like, "Oh my god, where did you go?" Like,
Because we
guys,
know
I didn't run
why.
off this time.
We know why you've gone to the toilet. Like, obviously to be sick. So we like I was just sat in the room with Eve, we're on the bed. What were we doing? We're like going through photos.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, I've got to go to sleep. My head's like spinning.
Yeah, my head was
She
spinning.
just couldn't say. I was like, okay, let's just go to bed, whatever. Literally, I didn't even know what happened in me because I just woke up at the same time. Literally saw this body rising out of bed. Like, it's something like from paranormal activity shit, right? Honestly, she was like came out the bed like rising. All I heard was, and I was like, "Are you being sick?" All over the bed.
Answered the question.
Yeah, literally, she was being sick everywhere, and I was like, "This is literally in the space of like 2 minutes." She got the sick out the bed in her quilt. I was like, "What are you doing, babe?" She went to the shower. She put it in. She was like, "I'll deal with that tomorrow morning." Our suitcases was on the 3rd bed because in Ibiza Rocks you have 3 beds. Our suitcases were laid out, and next thing is all I know is I see this girl, Superwoman, comes out, picks all our cases off the bed, literally like both of them, and they're all open. Chucks them on the floor, gets into bed. Next
I
morning,
get into the spare bed.
yeah, yes,
I've just been sick in mine, so
The next morning, I get up and I was like, "What the actual fuck just happened last night?" Like, was you sick? And she's like, "Yeah." So was it bad? She's like, "Yeah." So I was like, "I'll go check on Mal." Went into Mal. She was dead. Like literally, I was so confused.
I had no clothes
She had
on.
no clothes on. The shower was running, and she was asleep in the bathroom. I was like,
yeah, you were like sprawled on the floor.
I wouldn't mind
so
though. I
confused.
came to your room with my pajamas on,
I
and I
know
woke up.
how-
There was
I'm
no
not-
reason to get undressed.
Yeah,
I was
so
soaking wet, and my pajamas were in the bin.
Yeah, I was really confused. So I feel like you had them on. You were sick on yourself and tried to get in the shower. I feel like that's my
Probably.
conclusion.
And I
to
didn't
that.
turn the
Mm.
shower off. So
No.
sorry, Ibiza Rocks probably ran your water bill to the.
Yeah.
But it's
you know.
okay because I left them a note
I
and
can
I
say,
translated
The best part was we were leaving the room to go down to like go home. She was like, "I'm gonna leave him a tip." She's got all her change, like put it on the side. She's like, "I'm gonna transfer them, like do a little note for them." She left a
it.
little
And I
note.
did use Google Translate and I translated it all into Spanish for them.
And
What
we
did
sat
it say?
down.
I apologised for the
The
fact
shower.
because obviously I just scooped like from like the bed sheets,
quilt.
the duvet, everything was all in. It was like, you know, like if you have like a stick with a little like,
Yeah.
sack on the
Like
back.
a hobo.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was literally what it was, and I just chucked the whole thing in the. I didn't do anything with it. I just chucked it in a pile.
And then literally,
But I didn't want them to like open it
and like have a
and have a
surprise.
surprise.
So I bet that looks stunk as well.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
And then we sat downstairs and we were like, we were getting ready to go, and this girl was not looking good. Like she was like red because she was sunburned, but she was looking white. And I was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "I really don't feel good." And she had to pop out the paracetamol.
I had to go and sit on a curb outside
Yeah,
the
she
hotel.
literally, her head was like down like this. I thought, what the hell? She must have been hanging. But that's my little story.
That's what vodka and Ibiza does to you.
No, that's what vodka with no mixer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Moral of the story: don't drink 50% vodka with no mixer, or
Yeah.
just don't drink it in general. I've not drank it since.
No
There's a
need
bottle
for
of it that we brought back because we hadn't touched it yet. It's been sat
feel
in
like that
our
was
cupboard
mine.
ever since. I've not touched it.
I got
Trauma.
one and I never.
Yeah.
Oh no, I touched it on the first night when we went to Glitterbox.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone's got that one alcohol that's trauma.
Pink tequila rose.
Yeah, mine's tequila.
Literally, tequila rose, like the milkshake thing.
Yeah, I'm with
Mine's
you.
Jaeger.
Yeah.
Well, we know, honey.
Mine's 50% vodka.
I wonder why.
Okay, now guys, I want to hear your first dates that have gone either bad or something's happened that you're a bit like, what the fuck?
Oh my god. So my like worst first date story was like a couple of years ago now. So me and this guy met. Do you remember that really weird time during COVID
Oh,
where you
yeah.
could go to a club but you had to sit on a bench?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like you weren't allowed to
Was
move.
honestly
The weirdest thing, like every time I like mention it to like my younger brother and sister,
don't
like
get it.
you're literally making up, and I'm
It's
like,
like
no,
a
it's
fever
rude.
the
dream.
main
Yeah,
gift, so not real.
yeah,
I
yeah,
kind of like that era though, but anyway.
Yeah, I didn't have to stand.
yeah.
No, but
You
like
like
just
that?
going out, like not caring.
Oh.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So we were sat in Gales, and his mate come over, and she was like, "Oh, my friend finds you attractive." Join the queue. No, I'm joking. So like, me and him got chatting, and then we didn't speak for like a few months because I got back to my ex, and then we started like speaking again, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to go on a date?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." He bigged this date up to
Like
the
to be
max. Like he was like, "I'm going to pick you up. I'm organising everything." I was like, "Get used to this."
What I mean?
Princess treatment. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to sound ungrateful, but when someone bigs you up a date for like over a month, you're expecting like
Sweet grand.
riches. He
Yeah.
took me from riches to rags. Like, he picks me up, takes me to the local beefeater in.
Oh, I don't shit on the beef.
No,
I
like,
love the beef.
No, I don't mind the beefeater, but when you're promised the Ritz and you
Yeah.
get the
You're thinking
beefeater,
like Soho or something.
no, promise me Dixie's and then take me the beefeater. Do you know what I mean? So bear in mind, I used to work at this retail park of this beefeater at the time, right? So we pull up and he didn't get out of the car, and I was like, maybe we're just early for like the reservation or whatnot.
Reservation.
At the beefeater.
Yeah, the beefeater. Like they're that busy anyway. Me and the other 4 people. So like we're sat there, and no word of a lie, he sits there, farts, lets one rip in front of me, and literally turns to me, looks at me, and goes, "Right, let's got that first fart awkwardness out of the way." First fart awkwardness, that's some shit you do like at marriage, in my
Yeah.
opinion, or 6 months down the line, not on a first date. So I was like, I'm trapped now. A, in the stench, and B, like,
I'm in it.
yeah, well, I'm in it deep now. What can I do? So we go for food, right? And I was like, okay, just get through the day, then fine. So we were sat there talking, right? And like, we're actually getting on really well. So I was like, I can maybe look past that moment. But it gets worse. So like, I always get really paranoid at food dates. Talking about what you eat. I don't want a burger in case it drips. You don't want spaghetti. That's a no-go. So I was like, right, I'll get lasagna. Right?
It's the same as spaghetti. No,
it's not.
It pretty much is.
So like, anyway, we're in like deep conversation, right? And I've stuck my knife at the side of the plate because we were in conversation. At this point, we were like in conversation. He must have been doing something because the knife like flicked over some of the sauce on his face. But I didn't have the heart to tell him.
You didn't notice?
No, I didn't know it.
See it like
This
hit his face.
This is the bit that I was like, how do you not know? In my head, I'm thinking it was in the middle of July, so I'm like, maybe he thought it was sweat or something. I don't know.
But he has already farted. So
Yeah,
it's
do
been sweat.
you know what I mean? So like then, I didn't have the heart to tell him. So after, we've like gone back to the car, we've parked up.
And it's still on his face.
Yeah, it's really fine. This is the bit where it gets really bad. So we're having conversation, and he does that really awkward thing, you know, when guys lean in for a kiss.
Oh, and they're just closing their eyes.
Yeah,
and going, oh my
the
God.
tongue's already coming out. We like neck on, but the sauce that goes onto my mouth. And he's just looked at me and gone, what is that? And I was like, I don't know what it is. I was like, because it came like graphic, it came there, so I tried to pretend it was a nosebleed. And then he went, what? And I was like, just look in your like mirror. He's like looked in his like mirror at the top and gone, isn't that? Didn't realise that he had lasagna sauce on his nose all over everything. So safe to say there was not a second date there.
We just
But
asked the question.
Mhm.
Was he good looking?
no. Do you know what? I was like 19.
average.
He paid me some attention, and I
Loved
was like,
it.
do you know, I really appreciated the ballsiness of getting his mate to do, which is not even ballsy, but you know.
Ballsy enough to
So,
take
yeah,
beef, yeah.
I wish him well, but not a second date. Oh,
I bet he's turned off lasagna now.
yeah,
Yeah,
not
never
again.
again.
Yeah.
Doesn't want that.
I did think when you said, "Oh, I'm getting lasagna," I was like,
It's gonna end bad. Right.
I think my first date would be the worst one. Let me try and, you know what? I'm going to try and find it went that bad. I had to make a pros and cons list. Like
that's when you know it's
how
bad.
serious it went. Like after it, I was just like, I was contemplating life. I was like, what? I can't keep doing this. So he had money.
Good start.
From the weirdest scenario. So it was some health thing, whatever, that was then caused by COVID. That's what it. So not on my cons list was that he doesn't know what he's talking about, because to start off, the date again, like yours, was made out to be like some really big thing. Literally took me bowling in Rubery,
Oh,
and
Lovely.
not only did he show up in a tracksuit. Bear in mind, I'm in jeans, nice top, little nice jacket. He showed up in an essentials tracksuit, really ugly shoes, and the worst part, a flipping beanie. He was wearing a beanie, and it was because he said he didn't have time to get a haircut. I thought, you've had time to plan this date and not had time to plan to get a haircut. I feel like that's the first thing you should do. It wasn't even. I think it was in the middle of summer last year.
oh.
But obviously, we did bowling, which was obviously on my list. It was a very icky bowler. That was one of my points, because I've never got so much ick from someone in my life. It was and bear in mind, I was absolutely smashing the bowling, and I was like really contemplating giving him that little ramp thing to give him a bit of a boost, because it wasn't very good. So I've also got on my cons, reckless driving. Bear in mind, this boy had an Audi A1, but he ragged it about like it was a go-kart. And I'm sat there in the passenger seat thinking, you're putting my life at risk here.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the date, we went to the Black Horse for food,
Oh, for God's sake.
which is a Weatherspoons. Went there for food. And then at that point, I had to send out my SOS. Molly phoned me, I needed to come home. I couldn't, I was losing my mind on this. And he was so icky. Like, we were sat in the car, and I think we'd gone to get a McFlurry or something on the way home. We sat in the car and we parked up. Tell me why he puts his head on my shoulder. He's like this in the car. And I'm like, sorry, I didn't realise it was your mom. Like, why have you got we're in a car? And it was like a big like middle panel as well. Like, there was a lot in the way of these two seats. And I was probably sat as far to the window as I could. And he still like put his head on my shoulder. I was like, that's
so
really
Why?
weird. I don't know. And then I obviously put on here he's mentally unstable, which he is mentally unstable.
Yeah.
It was not a great one at
Aren't all
all.
men, to be fair.
And
but
every time he'd tell me something, it didn't sound like the truth.
Yeah,
Like
like
it sounded like too many amazing things happened. Like, you knew HS Tiki Toki.
ugh.
But you knew all of these different people. I'm thinking, sorry,
Anyone
that
can say
doesn't just
though.
happen to
Yeah.
you. And he said he was a footballer. He plays Sunday League.
No,
That's not
Mm.
footballing.
That's
Sorry.
no.
That's like what the dads do on a Sunday. Do you know what I mean?
Kick back with the lads.
And like, he reposts really, really weird things on TikTok. Like, bearing in mind, we'd been on one date, he'd known me for like a week, and his not that I stalk reposts, but I do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
his
well,
reposts were all like about finding like the love of your life, like how happy you are because you found the love of and I'm thinking,
That better not be me.
alert. That was scary. I was scared for my life
Stranger
at that point.
danger.
And this is the best part. Whenever we were like starting to talk, this boy told me to Google him.
Oh, no way.
He
No
literally told me
way.
to Google him to see what it come up with, and it come up with like a football profile. But it didn't do him any favours, because it said like all of these personal different things, like your height and everything. I thought, you're not helping this out
Baiting
here.
him out.
I went, that is really baiting you out there.
That is
But I've never. It literally, I'm scarred for life, guys. It's put me up. Google him. Sorry, I didn't realise you were Beyonce.
No, what the hell?
But no, and obviously my pros and cons list was pros. I had 5, with one of them being impossible, and my cons was 19. So I feel like that really
that
helped
away,
me.
so-
That made me. That helped me to make my final decision.
Finalise your decision.
It did.
Put it to bed.
Playlist,
Yeah.
pick a song of the episode. So we're gonna like pick a song and then we'll add it to our playlist.
Yeah. And you'll be able to find it
Yeah.
on Spotify underneath
Slowly
the episode.
So mine is inspired by my holiday to Magaluf. I'm gonna pick Northern Rhythm by Patrick Topping.
Okay, hopefully that's on Spotify.
It is.
Mine, as per usual, is going to be nothing to do with the episode. I'm going to go Focus on Me by Darko.
Oh, mine is, I think, a bit fitting. Mine's Jealous Type by Doja Cat because I am. So, long story short.
Not the episode.
Yeah.
Mine's gonna be August by Taylor Swift.
So we've had Love Island debates, tragic holidays abroad, and first date horrors. We'll see you next time. Bye.